Our guest today is Richard Ovkarovich, and Richard is the Manager of Health Protection with the HKPR District Health Unit. And Richard, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Maybe we could start, Richard, by just finding out a little bit about yourself and the role that you play. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the breadth, the role of the Manager of Health Protection with HKPR. What's that all about?
So the role of our public health unit is to protect public health, basically. And my role as a manager is to assist my staff, which are public health inspectors, in their duties, whether it's inspection of premises, investigation of animal bites. We do surveillance of recreational water like beaches. We do surveillance of vector-borne diseases like mosquitoes, the West Nile virus, Lyme disease with ticks, and any new infectious agents that come on the scene. So it's an ever-evolving field.
Well, obviously, there's never a dull moment.
Very true.
And what got you personally into health protection? How did you get into this career path?
Well, that's an interesting story. It was actually by luck that I got involved, because I didn't even know what a health inspector was when I was in high school, and it's one of those fields that has been very in the background. So we are more of a preventative kind of force when it comes to healthcare, and it doesn't get as much notoriety as being a doctor or a nurse, but there's a lot of work that's done in the background. And the way that I came to be informed, my mom was actually managing a Mr. Submarine store, and an inspector came in, did an inspection, and she said, well, you know what, you might want to consider it. So I looked into it, and at that time I wanted to be a police officer, and looked into it, liked what I saw, and went to Ryerson University at the time. And after the first year, I was hooked. After taking a few courses, parasitology and epidemiology, it was kind of like doing investigations of outbreaks, kind of similar kind of things that we're dealing with right now on a huge scale. But in that time, it was maybe a foodborne outbreak or other outbreaks that are out there, infectious disease, sexually transmitted disease, that kind of stuff.
I think we're all very aware of the important role that HKPR Health Unit plays in our everyday lives, and we look to you for a lot of advice and a lot of information. And one of the new programs that you've got going, which is rather fascinating, is called Caution I Might Bite program. Maybe you could explain to us why this program came about.
So it's a awareness campaign that has been initiated by myself and my staff under the rabies prevention program. So inspectors are required to do investigations of animal bite, a scratch, or other contact incidents when there may be a transmission of rabies. When there is an incident, there's a regulatory requirement that it gets reported to the health unit by whether it's a veterinarian, a police officer, could be a healthcare practitioner that's treating the individual. And we've seen a significant increase in the number of incidents that we're investigating. When I came on board with the HKPR back in 2003, we were dibbling around 320 animal bites, animal exposure incidents. In the last 3 or 4 years, we've had over 600.
Wow!
So there's a huge increase, and what we're seeing is a range of significance. So it could be as little as, or as benign as, a nip where it breaks the skin and needs to be reported, or an individual is scratched, to something more significant where we've had individuals that lost their fingers in a biting incident. We had an individual that lost part of an ear, part of a nose. So it can be extremely traumatic for the individual, the owner of the animal, and the family involved.
Yeah, yeah. And there are obviously various reasons why some dogs need their space. What sort of issues do we find out about the animals?
Right. So the incidents that I'm referring to are not just dogs. So this is all animal bite incidents,
Okay.
including things like bats, wild
Ah,
animals like raccoons and skunks, and if anybody's listen, anybody that's listening today, please do not approach wild animals. They're very unpredictable. They may look cute, but you just never know. So enjoy the animals from a distance. When we are talking about domestic animals, about 69 to 71% over the last few years have been involving dogs specifically. So it's a significant number of biting incidents. And what we've looked at is trying to reduce the number of those biting incidents by looking at what's out there. And we've kind of found this Yellow Dog Project. It was an international campaign that was started a few years ago, and we're kind of piggybacking on that. Still using the yellow in there because it's sort of like the color of caution, if you think about it. So piggybacking on that and bringing the awareness, if you see yellow on a dog, and we're pleading or trying to get the message out through this campaign to have animal owners that know that their animal needs space for various reasons. And the reasons could be that it's after surgery and in pain. It could be that it's a rescue dog, could be fearful or insecure, right? Could be a service dog that shouldn't be touched because it's supposed to focus specifically on the task at hand. Could be an old tired dog, or a dog that just doesn't like other people or other dogs. So if you have one of those dogs that needs space, what we're asking is maybe tie a yellow ribbon or put a yellow bandana or some sort of a yellow marker on the leash or on the collar. And if people come to pet the animal, let them know, this animal needs its space, so please don't pet it.
yeah, yeah. This is a very simple, yet what appears to be a very effective way of letting people know that the dog has some issues, and to try and reduce that number of bites that you're dealing with. It seems like a pretty simple, straightforward program, and hopefully people will get to it. How about with children? Is there any sort of program planned for youngsters?
Absolutely. So last year we initiated part of this campaign, which is called Keep Bites at Bay, and it's a school-based program that we've developed from kindergarten to grade 6, and it's a presentation that we do in schools. We have it in a format where teachers can take the information and present it to their students as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be done by HKPR District Health Unit staff, but it can be done by teachers in their respective classrooms. It is specifically tied to the school curriculums. There's been a lot of work that's gone into it. Last year was the first year when we've initiated it, and we've had uptake last year in the city of Kawartha Lakes. This year we've had a more significant uptake down in Northumberland County, and I believe we have one school in Haliburton County specifically that has asked for the presentation to be conducted. So we're planning those presentations for June.
I'm sure that for people who have dogs that have these kinds of issues, as well as people who encounter dogs of this nature with the yellow caution ribbon around the leash or collar, that this would be an opportunity to share the news online as well.
Absolutely, and this is a multi-pronged communication campaign that our communications department has pulled together. So we've put out a media release. We have information on our website. There is information going out through social media and various different other web platforms. And we encourage people to get involved by sharing photos of an animal wearing a yellow ribbon or marker on our website. Simply tag the health unit at HKPR DHU, or use the hashtag yellow ribbon dog, or give me space, hashtag give me space, and let the word get out as much as possible.
I can see there might be a rush to some fabric stores looking for yellow ribbon.
Well, we actually developed a few incentive items as well that we're going to be distributing to businesses, chambers of commerce, municipalities. We'll bring them to schools. We have information cards with the yellow ribbon. We have some bandanas that will be given away. We have these window cling stickers that you can put in the window of your car or window of your business or organization that gets the word out there.
Sounds like a great program, Richard. A lot of work obviously has gone into the development of it, and I guess the end result will be whether or not we see the numbers go down and we see people well protected. You must be anxious to see how the program unfolds and what the results are.
Absolutely. That the proof is going to be in the pudding. Hopefully we do see a reduction in the number of cases, at least locally. We do have we have beautiful area in HKPR. Haliburton County is world renowned for its beauty, and so is City of Kawartha Lakes and Northumberland County. So we do get a lot of visitors. So hopefully they'll see the information and they'll start asking what it's all about. My goal is, if this works the way that I expect it to work, I'd like to take this provincially.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea. Richard, thanks for joining us today. This has been most interesting. I love it. You've certainly thought it through from A to Z, and it looks like it's all set to have great success. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike, and thanks to your listeners, and I want to wish everybody a great weekend.
And a great summer with yellow ribbons being seen around the county.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Our guest today has been Richard Ovkarovich, who is the Manager of Health Protection for the HKPR District Health Unit.